Welcome back to season 1, episode 7 of the For the Shirt podcast. Glad to be with you today. Jacob, how you doing, my man?
Good. It's the Mike Vick episode for the big dogs.
Mike Dick.
Number 7, baby. Number 7.
No, we don't condone
Yeah, it was
fighting.
I think it was overall a pretty good week, dude. A lot of the games, we did say coming in that we thought it would be kind of a boring week, and for the boring matchups that it was, overall I was actually pretty impressed by how the games turned out. I felt like there was a lot of surprises. There was a few, eye-turning headlines when we first started looking at the games. The first, 30, 40 minutes we started looking into it. But, as the games went on, a lot of them ended how we thought they were going to. But, both of our bold predictions came true. So
I don't even remember what my bold prediction was. What was my bold prediction?
You don't remember? I do. Your bold prediction was that Newcastle was not going to take all the points against Everton. I think you did say that they would lose, but Everton did not win, but it was a draw. And then my bold prediction was that Chelsea was not taking all the points against Nottingham Forest, and that also did not happen. So if we would have parlayed those together, I'm sure we would have made a lot of money, but we're not smart enough to do that when we say things. So we'll know next time.
We'll start doing that. We can have that be a new thing. We each of us have a take, and then we honestly, I think that'd be fun. Let's do that. You and I,
weekly parlay.
Whoever wants to join.
Although I don't know if it's the week that we play each other and you try to say that Tottenham's beating Liverpool, I'm not taking that in the leg. So
after this weekend, I'm not sure I'm ever going to bet. Yeah. But we'll get to that.
Yes, we will.
But I think we should do that. I think at the end of each episode, we'll each have a pick for next week.
The parlay of the week.
And then there you go. Perfect. Dude, all right, so let's get into this. Sorry if you can hear that. My vacuum's getting unplugged real quick. Let's start with Everton Newcastle. 0-0 draw. Kind of a stinker of a game. Newcastle with 68% possession, 2.5 xG, 14 shots, 0 goals. Interesting. Newcastle hasn't been in the best of form, so I can't say that I am surprised. Did I truthfully think that this is going to happen? Absolutely not. No, Everton. They're a dumpster fire, but over the past 2 weeks, taking 4 points in 2 weeks, it's looking up for them. They're no longer bottom of the table. Not much far off, but they had more big chances than Newcastle did, with 2 to the Newcastle's 1. But Jordan Pickford continuing to stand on his head. Other than that, I don't really have much else to say about this match. It was definitely surprising, but
no, I think most people can see by looking at the score, but this is obviously a huge missed opportunity for Newcastle to kind of hold where they are, because they win that game, they're sitting up tied with Chelsea and Villa. Instead, they ended up dropping the points and they're in 7th. And then they have to go face Brighton next. So I just think you look at the stats of that game, they had more XG.
A lot more XG. But also, we got to talk about it. Credit to Pickford for the penalty save against Anthony Gordon. I almost said Aaron Gordon. Great save. It's always good to save a penalty. It's not an easy thing to do, but he telegraphed where that was going the entire time. My grandmother probably could have saved that thing. It was a piss poor attempt. And it would have given them the lead, honestly. But
full
props.
XG right there.
Full XG. It had to have been. A lot more XG. Great penalty save. Newcastle had 3 shots on target off of 14 shots, 1 big chance. I mean, I don't know. I'm blanking on his name right now. Hang on. What was it? Dakota. Yeah, right. Dakota had a goal ruled off. So it could have very well been 1-1. But, at the end of the day, when booty meets ass, you get shit. So it's pretty much what this game was.
Newcastle coming up, Brighton, Chelsea, Arsenal, all coming up. The next 3 games for them in the Prem. So it is tough sledding. I think this game was definitely one that they needed to have. It's great for Everton for their chances of staying up. Honestly, I mean they need every point they can get against the guys that they absolutely should not be winning against. So yeah, it comes down to Pickford. I think comes down to just the play of the defense for really kind of holding them in. I'm sure.
Yeah. This is Pickford's second game in a row being the man of the match. And that tells you everything you need to know about how Everton's season's going. But hey, you get points where you can get them. No game in the Premier League is an easy game. So good for them. On the flip, Everton coming up has Ipswich after the international break. They got Fulham. That's going to be a tough match. Fulham's playing pretty well. Southampton after that, West Ham, Brentford, then United on December 1st. So, and then you follow that up with Wolves on December 3rd. So, they got a fairly easy run of games coming up. Hopefully they can find some form and, keep themselves in it.
Hopefully not, but
I have zero feelings towards Everton, to be honest. So
I do, and I hope that they get relegated. But we'll see. We'll see what happens with it.
Yeah. What else happened this weekend? We got the shootout in Brentford Wolves. Brentford taking that 5-3 for the 4th game in a row. Was this the 4th or the 5th? I think it was the 4th. I'm pretty sure it's the 4th.
It was the 4th.
But for the 4th game in a row, not quite the 4th game in a row, but the 4th game in a row, Brentford has scored within the 2-minute mark. And I mean, the other 3 were within the 1-minute mark. But Nathan Collins with a goal to give Brentford the lead after 2 minutes. How are they able to do this? I would love to know. I mean, everybody knows that they're going to come out of the gate strong at this point. Wolves isn't necessarily the best team in the league, but I think that, this is the 4th game in a row that they've managed to score within the opening minutes. So something that they're doing is working. This is the only game that it actually has worked out for them. I'm pretty sure they've lost the other 4, haven't they?
Yeah. So I'm pretty sure that I told you that they either score within the first 2 minutes of the game or they don't score at all. And so as soon as they scored, I was like, oh, this would be a good game to expect some goals in. And then, I mean, they all kind of came in the first half, all but the 2 goals. You had the late Wolves goal and then Carvalho too. And the 2 of them are really the only ones that scored in the second half. Other than that, it was just kind of, back and forth. It felt like the entire beginning part of that game. I thought that Wolves overall, that has to be so frustrating right now for their fan base because it really doesn't seem like they're playing bad. The games that they play, they're letting in a lot of goals. Don't get me wrong, their defense is
a problem for sure.
But offensively, they've been scoring. They have playmakers. They have the ability to control the ball for the most part. But yeah, the defense is horrendous. But it has to be frustrating because it's a lot of teams' problems are the goal scoring aspect of it, not really the defending aspect of it. So I feel like it's relatively, obviously sitting here, it's hard for me to say this, but relatively easy to stop people from scoring, it seems like. So I feel like not being able to score or not being able to defend is probably pretty frustrating.
Absolutely. I mean, it's been a consistent thing all season. That's why they're at the bottom of the table. They just can't seem to put it together offensively. I mean, when you have the likes of Matthias Cunha in your lineup. I mean, they have Lamina. I mean, João Gomez. Like, you have the attacking talent like to do it. They haven't been able to put it together. Cunha hasn't looked insane this season like he kind of did last season, in my opinion. But the talent's there. You just got to figure out how to squeak out some games. I mean, you don't need to win all of them, but shit, what are they? I think they're last in the league. They're one of the only 2 winless teams. Yeah, them and Southampton are the only 2 winless teams. So, I mean, you gotta at some point you gotta put it together. But Wolves will come out and they'll win some random game that they're not supposed to, and everything will be right. It'll be against Spurs in the Molineux. I already fucking know it's coming, but you just gotta try your hardest to not let that happen, I guess. But
yes.
All right, what else happened this weekend? You got anything else to say about that game? I mean, it was just a fucking goal fest at the end of the day. Like, we could talk about everybody's goals.
That was what I was just gonna say. I felt like it was really back and forth. And I feel like there's also just like a few of these games every few months for Brentford, where it's like, okay, today Brentford's gonna score 7 goals, and then like they go months with either scoring 0 or 1 goal the entire time. So I feel like there's not much else I have to say about it other than that. I just feel like it has to be at least slightly frustrating for them.
Yeah. I mean, let's be honest, Brentford's defense isn't the best ever, so I think if you take, a decently attacking lower end team and you put them up against Brentford, it's bound to be a fucking goal fest. There was 8 goals in that match. That's a lot of goals. So it made for entertaining ball. I mean, it wasn't a boring game to watch, that's for sure. It looked fairly evenly matched stats-wise, but at the end of the day, Brentford got the 2 extra goals to take the dub and the full 3 points.
Yeah, Southampton had us for a second there, didn't they?
Dude, they really fucking did. There's no way. There's no way.
Yeah.
Jacob and I were texting each other freaking out, dude. It was nuts.
Well, Cameron Archer had the goal for Southampton. It was pretty good, like, curling into the bottom of the net.
I love Cameron Archer.
And then as soon as that happened, I was like, oh, look, Southampton. And then, as inevitable as he is, Kai Havertz decided to actually shoot one of the crazier shots I've seen him do right off the post and in.
Yeah.
So, Arsenal bounced back as soon as everyone thought they were in trouble, like they always do.
They can't keep getting away with this. They simply can't do it. And it's working. And it's making me so angry because they don't play to win. They do. I thought it was just against the big clubs. Success. No,
no.
But I mean, it's not long run. There's a lot of managers that play defensive football, but at the end of the day, like, that's just not what they've been previously. So, I mean, you got a good defense. I get play to your strengths, but like, they come out and sit back and defend and like somehow manage to squeak out a goal. Like, I was really hyped. I had zero thoughts that Southampton was going to even challenge for it. But I mean, how do you not score a goal in the first half against Southampton, man? Like, it's not even like the chances weren't there. They had 2.83 XG. They had the momentum the entire first half. I mean, they had fucking 29 shots. Just couldn't find the back of the net. That's insane. Like, you have to capitalize. And against a Big Six squad, like, that's just not going to work. So the writing's on the wall. We'll have to see. Hopefully,
I feel like their big issue has been like midfield without having Odegaard there. Like, we said that was going to be an issue for them early on, and I feel like they just haven't had that control, and that's Odegaard. I think brings them to a whole other gear that they're capable of offensively when he's in there, and when he's not, everything runs so like clunky. It feels like, and we're seeing the clunk every single week so far. We've seen the clunk without Odegaard. It's just one of those things that we're gonna have to figure out.
It's just wild to see a team completely like and I can't say they gave up because 29 shots is a lot of shots. 29 shots with 6 on target is simply unacceptable. But I just don't understand. I mean, Odegaard is a great player. Don't get me wrong, and he's going to go down as one of the greats at Arsenal. But was he that important? Like, dude had I think 2 goal contributions before he got hurt. Like, it wasn't even like he was all that. They're doing all that much beforehand. But it seems like as soon as he got injured, they just haven't looked the same. I don't want to say they gave up on offense, but it kind of looks like they gave up on offense. They're just like, we'll sit back, we'll wait for the counter and try to pounce that way. But I don't understand the strategy there. But
I just think that Odegaard is very much the player that Alexis McAllister is for Liverpool. You're never going to notice stats wise. I mean, he gets the occasional goal, does something amazing, or has a great pass and gets the assist, but not everything shows up, I think, on the stat sheet of what he does for their team. And it's like, there's not a lot of players that I would take off of Arsenal to start over players on Liverpool, to be honest with you. There's not. Odegaard is one of the ones that I think I would take off of their team. I have a lot of respect for him when it comes to playmaking, dribbling, and control. And I just feel like that's what they've been missing. It's pretty evident. I mean, you look at the results; it's pretty evident.
I'm gonna grill you on this because I'm very curious. I mean, I'm thinking through it in my head, and I'm like, okay, so let's compare starting 11 for this game specifically to Arsenal starting 11. So David Raya versus Alisson. Obviously, you're taking Alisson 110%. I do think David Raya is in a better form at this current time than Alisson is, but Alisson also just got hurt, and he just doesn't have a lot to do.
Look at Arsenal's lineup and tell you who I would pick over right now. Not a lot. I would say probably, and that's the hard one. Between Saliba and Gabriel, probably Saliba. I would take Saliba over Konate.
110% every single day of the week. Wouldn't take him over Virgil. Wouldn't take either of them over Virgil.
Yeah,
you could make an argument for Saliba.
On my point, though, I feel like
I was thinking the same.
Could possibly be better than either of our two.
I
definitely not taking Thomas Partey over Trent Alexander-Arnold. The one that everyone would be saying is Saka. I'm not taking Bukayo Saka over Mo Salah. I don't care how old Mo is.
Nah, see, I wasn't thinking of it like that. I was thinking Mo playing the 9. But I wouldn't take Saka. It depends. Are we thinking all? Okay, I guess we should have prefaced this. But are we thinking all time, or are we thinking this current form? Because now I wouldn't take Saka over any of them.
Yeah, because if you're talking about
Saka
current
over
form,
Cody
absolutely
Gakpo.
Not.
Yeah,
no,
definitely.
I would take.
Saka's been playing well. He had 2 assists this game and a goal.
Although, if we're talking about current form, then I would say I would not take him over Luis Diaz. But
no, absolutely not.
I would maybe take Saka over Diaz. I'll take Jota over Havertz and Jesus. I mean, like.
Oh, I wouldn't touch Gabriel Jesus with a 10-foot pole.
Yeah,
Spurs lining up isn't even. I mean, I'd rather have Solanke or Richarlison and Brazil.
Here you go.
Okay.
Declan Rice or Ryan Gravenberch?
See, this is where I'm a little green with Gravenberch because this is kind of his breakout season. I would.
That's where I'm at with it.
I would take Declan Rice.
I was like, I feel like you take Declan Rice.
He just hasn't proven himself enough yet.
But
yeah,
Gravenberch. I mean, we might be able to look back on this next year and laugh that we were even considering this. But yeah, I mean, I would take Rice now. I think, but
100%, definitely not taking Jorginho over McAllister or who's your guys' other midfielder? Curtis Jones. Who do you guys start at the 8?
Soboslai.
Do you? Definitely. I would take Sloboslai over Jorginho for sure.
Yeah.
All right. Alexis McAllister or Kai Havertz? That's a tough one, actually. You don't think so?
I feel like they play different positions, so it's hard for me to be like, oh,
I
I
forget that
wouldn't.
Arsenal has a 9.
'Cause
I always think Kai Havertz is their 9. I
I
never
feel like
think
there's
about him playing
different
10.
things that they do. Like, I feel like they're the same level of footballer, but I feel like there's some things that Maka does. Like, Kai Havertz can't play defense like McAllister does,
No.
like at all. McAllister can play defensive midfielder if we put him out there. Um, I would take Maka still. I would.
That's fair. Definitely. I would take Darwin Nunez over Gabriel Jesus.
Yeah,
Truthfully, Raheem
yeah,
Sterling.
I
I'm not
think I
even
would
going to
too.
go through that one because brother only started because it was fucking Southampton.
I know it's a video game, but the amount of times that Arsenal has offered to buy Darwin Nunez off me in FC 24 and 25 is telling enough. I think
That's funny.
they would take him too in a
That's
heartbeat.
awesome. All right, let's go to City and Fulham. Let's talk about it. Because what did I text you in the morning?
You told me that you thought that Fulham had a shot and that you thought that they could possibly win.
I woke up Saturday morning with just a little inkling. It was just a little inkle, and I was like, I just feel like Fulham's in good form right now, and they're sound defensively. I'd be curious to see, with City not being on, the hype train that they were the first couple games of the season. Holland hasn't fallen off. I'm not going to say that about you, Holland. So don't come for me. But they just haven't been playing great the past couple weeks. So something was just giving me a little itch. And I was like, I wonder. So I ended up turning into this game mostly. And I was not disappointed. Fulham did a job. I mean, you scored 2 goals on the 5-time reigning champ, arguably the best team in the entire world. I can't ask for a better day. You don't go into playing City expecting to win ever. I don't care who you are. So getting 2 goals and giving them a run for their money. I mean, they were down 3-1 for a solid 6 minutes. So it was 2-2 for the majority of the game. So you didn't fully think that.
Grandpa Kovacic showed up.
Dude, like, what in the fuck? He scored the first goal, and I was like, okay, like, yeah, they score goals sometimes. He scores goals sometimes, but then he scored the second one, and I was like, Holland. You have Holland on the field. You have, I don't know why I'm just terrible at thinking at this moment. You have Phil Foden starting for the first game. You have Bernardo Silva.
Doku was in.
Doku didn't start though. Jack Grealish started.
Yeah, true.
So it wasn't the full A team. I mean, they started Rico Lewis in left back, which, giving Kyle Walker a couple of days rest. Kyle Walker hasn't been that great either, though.
Whatever dark magic that Pep uses, I would love to know. Because, just look at this. Dynamo Zagreb was where Kovacic started his career. 73 career games, he had 8 goals. Okay? Inter, 97 games, 8 goals. Real Madrid, 109 games, 3 goals. Chelsea, he went on loan first, 51 games, not a single one. Then they bought him, 170 games and 6 goals. He's played 54 games for Man City. I would be willing to guess half of those have been substitute appearances. He has 6 goals. Like,
he had
what's
2 this
happening
game,
there?
so he really only had 4.
Yes.
With City, you have to focus on so many different people. Like, you can't account for everybody on the pitch. You can't do it. I mean, I was not prepared for Kovacic to score 2. You're worried about Holland. Obviously, you have to. You're worried about Foden. You're worried about Silva. With this lineup that they put out there, you're worried about Jack Grealish. You're not worried about Kovacic scoring goals. So he was like, bet. I took that personally, and he ended up bagging 2, getting the dub. But I mean, the stats don't do it much justice. But I really do think that Fulham played better than it's showing. I think the scoreline properly reflects that. Stats, not so much. Amada Traore didn't play great, but he did a job over there on the left wing. I mean, 6.7 rating. They all have kind of mediocre ratings, but I mean, we got to shout out our man Raul Jimenez again, bagging an assist against Big City. Dude's been on fire,
Yeah,
and like we were talking
the
about with
back
Justin,
heel
it
that he had. Did you see
was
the back
disgusting.
heel assist?
Yes,
It was disgusting. Yeah, I
it was
mean,
insane.
he's
Dude's
got a
playing out of his
flair
mind.
for.
I'm happy for
He's
him.
got a flair a bit, and I'm happy about that. I'm happy for
Yeah,
Fulham. Like I think that Fulham's always one of those teams that they're just consistent mid-table. They will always be there. They're gonna have their days. They'll beat a big team out of nowhere, and then they'll lose a bunch of games that they should win, and they'll be right there in the middle.
you can count on them to win at least 1 to 2 games that they should not win either. I'm still a little salty that they eliminated us from the Carabao Cup last year. That was something
Yeah, I
that
watched that game. That
we
was
put
crazy.
out a piss poor lineup at that game, but Fulham weren't great at the time, and we apparently don't take people seriously.
Everyone's been there.
They're a lot, unfortunately, but yeah, no, I think that they played well. I think that they look great right now. They're in good form. I hope to see them, challenging towards the top of the table. Good for them. Good for them. What else happened? Let's see. We talk about Leicester Bournemouth. Leicester scored, if I remember correctly, a late goal to take it. Nope, they scored in the 16th
It was an
minute.
early Buonanotte, yeah.
Yeah.
It
And
was actually a really nice goal. He diced across the middle, bent it into the corner.
so I
I
didn't
was
pay
actually just
attention to
watching the
anything.
highlights. I saw that earlier. But yeah, it was a good goal.
I mean,
Another snooze
possession
fest
looked,
though. That game was boring. Other than that,
yeah. I mean, Bournemouth had 2.16 XG, 19 total shots, 5 big chances. 5 big chances. He didn't manage to score a goal. Speaking from experience here, Leicester is no joke. Just kidding. I'm just again still salty. I hold grudges. Code likes to hold grudges against people who beat his team or make his team look dumb. And they drew us week 1, and I was not expecting that. But props to them. Jordan Ayew's on Leicester now. What the fuck, dude? I just be learning shit. I swear, I need to be better about following the smaller teams. But yeah, I still think that Wout Faze is the funniest looking man alive. He looks so much like David Luiz, and it's 100% just the hair. But I just, for whatever reason, love him. He's a little shit
he looks
house.
like that guy off of was it the Rugrats? Where he's got the kid with the crazy hair. That's what he
Yeah, I know
looks
what you're
like.
talking about. He
Isn't that
does
what I'm
kind of
saying?
look like that. He's got that crazy look in his eye, man. I feel like he'd bite me if I try to walk up to him.
Some
Straight
Luis
up.
Suarez action there.
Dude, honestly,
Yeah,
though.
I think my dark horse player of the season, who I would love to see him get moved to another club, is Semenyo. I just think I
I
love the way
also,
Semenyo plays. I don't know
same.
why. I think he would just if he can get a move to somewhere where he can actually show what he can do. I feel like this kid could hit it big, but he's 24. He's not super young,
He's
so
got he's got plenty of time. I mean, footballers play. I mean, Raheem Sterling is 107 years old out there starting for
Jamie
Arsenal.
Vardy
So,
at 37.
yeah, Jesus Christ, dude just lives off of Red Bull. But no, I also I love Semenyo. I think that I don't, off the top of my head, I'm thinking move to a Big Six club. I can't. I don't know who he would start. I don't think he would start, but I think he'd be
No,
he'd challenge for this position, and he'd be a really good sub. But I just think he's the star of that team right now,
I
and
feel like
can't
he could
he's not
do
just gonna.
I could see him doing a job on Newcastle. I feel like if they
I mean,
moved on
who's he
from
gonna start
one
it?
of the wingers that they have, He's not going to start. I don't think he'd start anywhere, but I don't think that he deserves to be on Bournemouth and get fucking relegated again and go back down to the championship. So maybe he goes on like a Kovacic type route where he was doing jack shit at Chelsea and knew Chelsea wasn't going to win anything, so he left and went to City. Like maybe he gets something like that where he at least gets a challenge, maybe playing a Champions League if he can get the Newcastle playing well, something like that. I don't know.
I don't know if I
I'm
would take him
wishing the
over
best for the
Almiron,
game.
if being 100% honest. He's just young. I mean, Almiron's old, isn't he? Hang on,
I just don't know.
He's 30. Yeah,
Well,
and Almiron's about to leave. I've been reading that Everton are really, really pushing to get him in January. That'd be interesting.
Anthony Gordon wants to go to Liverpool, so that's probably going
I
to
don't know if he
happen
wants
either
to
in
go to
January or
Liverpool
the
or
summer.
he just
Yeah, he
grew
does.
up in Liverpool and that's his
Nope, he
boyhood
wants to go to
club.
Liverpool. He told all the people on the England team that he was pushing for a move to Liverpool, and they fell through.
Yeah, okay, you're a Liverpool supporter. Of course you've heard that. I haven't fucking heard that.
Yeah, it's been
That's all I
told, dude.
fucking
It's
do
been
is
news.
look up stupid
It's
transfer
been
rumors and
news,
shit.
brother. He wants us. We want him. It's coming.
Who would you start him over? I mean, you can't. You have what? Mo up top, Diaz on the right.
This is probably in the case that Luis leaves this summer because I think that's a very real possibility. I mean, that's something that no
Why?
one's really talking about.
It isn't because Trent's really trying to go to Real.
Barcelona
Oh,
or Real Madrid. He's been
interesting.
saying multiple times that he thinks that his dad has gone on like all this different social media things to say that he thinks that that's his level and that's like where he believes that he wants to play at. He grew up a fan of the team. So
I mean, who's not
I
a
don't know.
fan of Barcelona? There's two teams to root for. If in Spain, if you're Hispanic, who you root for Real Madrid or you root for Barcelona, and then there's 12 of them that root for Atletico. Let me look up their lineup because I mean, would you start him over Lamine Yamal? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know enough about Lamine Yamal to be honest, but the dude's been fucking fire. I don't know who their other winger is. I know they have Lewandowski up top, which is still so funny to me. I think that is the fact that Lewandowski is not only out here but he's balling is hilarious. I mean, Barcelona's leading La Liga right now by 3 points.
They have
Real Madrid
Ansu
has
Fati,
not.
they have Rafinha, they have Ferran Torres.
Ansu Fati, I forgot he went back there. Is he playing?
Feel like
actually?
He could easily. That I don't know.
Because he was on Brighton last year. He didn't really do shit.
He's been subbing in. He's played. He
Torres
played yesterday
hurt,
for them in La Liga for 23 minutes.
I mean, you
Played in the
can't have
Champions
Luis
League for
Diaz
26.
playing the 10. Like, he has to be on the wing. He's got too much speed to sit in the middle.
He would be on the wing. It would be between him and probably Ferran Torres, who's hurt. But if Luis were to leave, that's where I could see him going. But
interesting.
I don't know. I feel like Anthony Gordon is someone like he would have to be willing to do the move. Newcastle would have to be willing to want to make the move. But there's been a lot of chatter about it. It's chatter than more than just the normal, like, oh, this could possibly happen. It's to the point where, like, it's pretty believed, like, it's a well-known thing that he would accept the move if it were to come. So
yeah, that'd be sick.
And Mo might be gone, so
how crushed would you be if Mo, Luis Diaz, and Trent all left in the same summer?
And Virgil. I mean, it's a very real possibility.
Virgil's old. I mean, I'm not even gonna lie. You can't give that man. You can sign him to maybe a 1-year deal and see if he wants to take that, but you can't.
FSG
give that man.
has really made it
so that so defeated right now.
It's frustrating, dude, because everyone wants these guys back. All the guys want to come back, and for whatever reason, our owners are just dragging their feet on it. But there's no reason behind it. There's no reason that we should be dragging our feet. These are some of the most legendary players to ever play at their positions at our club. And they're making no effort. We haven't heard a single thing. We have no idea what's going on. So
that's probably a good thing.
Frustrating.
At least
No.
when in Spurs terms, when I don't hear anything, that's typically a good thing. But there's still a lot of season left.
That you have like a few more months before they're able to start signing places for free. So we're gonna not only lose these guys, but we're gonna lose them all on free transfers.
You still have. There's no way they have their contracts expiring.
I believe you can sign it within 6 months, which means that it would be by January.
Well,
and it's
you better get on
October
that. You better
7th
get on
right
that.
now. Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's been literally rumors all the time of like, oh, there's a bunch of photographers at the facility and we can see Trent in his Liverpool jersey. And it's like, great. Can we get that done? Because no one wants to lose these guys for nothing. I can
Absolutely
tell you that.
not. Definitely not for nothing. I mean, you have to at least. That makes me curious to see what they're going to do in the winter window. I mean, there's no way they trade all three of them in January. That's insane.
I don't think that they would move any of them, honestly.
I wouldn't want to let any of them walk for free. Sign a new contract, charge, Real or Barcelona a fucking $1 billion for them. That's what you should do if you really want to go that route. You don't got to pay out the contract. They'll pay the money.
There's
they have
no
infinite
reason
amount
that
of money.
you should be letting them leave. Like
No.
there's been players that have done that in the past to us, and so I know that like our fan base is really worried about it. But yeah, I hope that they get it sorted because it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous to let them go this far.
It is ridiculous. So, you know who could use any one of your players? West Ham. West Ham getting the dub finally. Their first win in the last 6 games. They haven't been looking very good, but congratulations to West Ham. You beat the double promotion Ipswich, and you look decent doing it.
Jared Bowen was out there treating people like he was Ronaldinho the entire time. That was like a Jared Bowen legacy game. It felt like if you watch that entire thing. I mean, he had what? Do you have 2 assists?
I think he had 2 and a goal.
Or do you have a goal?
He had a goal. He had
one
and a goal. But he was all over the pitch, dude. I mean, he was everywhere all the time.
I think he had to have been man of the match. Is that
he was?
Yeah, I was gonna say. I mean, watching the game, it was very clear who the best player on the pitch was the entire time, and that was kind of what we thought was going to happen the entire time. But I will shout him out again. I do love this kid, and I'm wishing him success, and that is Delap. I just think the kid is just. The goal he scored was crazy. Like the turn, he like got the ball, gathered, and just flipped his hips and turned and shot. Another great goal. I just think that I like what he brings, and I feel like the team that they have is not terrible, but they got outclassed, and that was kind of I think what this was.
That's going to happen. They went out and they got 5 or 6 people, decent caliber players, right before the season started. I mean, we're what? This is match week 7, I think is what this was. So, they're 7, 8 games in, maybe playing together. I mean, I'm pretty sure they got Calvin Phillips, who's been one of their best players this season, literally like 3 days before the season started. So they have a decent team, but like we've talked about before, like they're a double promotion team. The odds of them staying up are minuscule, but I would love to see it. There's something about Ipswich, man. I've been saying it, but there's just something about him I like. And I agree with you. Liam Delap is a fantastic footballer. I think he's got a lot of talent. He's super young. He's gonna. I can see him making a big one day. I think he's definitely making a case that if they don't stay up, I mean, he's gonna sign with the Premier League club. I just question is who, but I can't imagine. Like him,
and I really like Jack Clark too. Jack Clark was on Sunderland, and Sunderland has that documentary. I don't know if you saw it at all.
No, I've heard about it. I just haven't gotten around to watching it.
It's half decent, but I had first heard of him when he was on Sunderland, and like seeing the kid actually make it to the Prem now, I think that he hasn't had the easiest road, but it's mostly just the team that he's on. Like they were going to be uphill sledding all year, anyways. But I've been impressed by him. I've been impressed by Delap. Um, I love how Mikel Antonio scored a goal like 50 seconds into the game because if it gets past like the 15-minute mark, he's huffing and puffing and barely able to run up and down the field. So,
He had to prove us
I'm
wrong.
glad
'Cause I'm pretty sure we were
about his.
talking shit last week about him. So it was
Yeah, I
only
mean, he
natural
definitely
that
hurt
he
us.
turned around and
He
scored
definitely
this
hurt us,
week.
but yeah, I mean, I'm still gonna get my shot in. He scored with like 50 seconds in the game just so that he didn't have to run all that much later and try to get his goal. So, I think
When did
that
he get subbed out?
70th minute because he was sprinting his ass off with the
I'm
first 10 minutes
surprised
of
he
the
made it that late, to be
game.
honest.
Yeah, I just
That's crazy. I figured he would be a
that's
take out a halftime type of guy, but
way of the road
you
there, I guess.
yep. I mean, get points against the teams you're supposed to get points against. If you do that, all you gotta do is win a few big games, and you're up. You're up. All right, let's fucking talk about it. No, I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to end on that. Aston Villa versus Man United. I didn't even bother watching this game.
Well, we didn't even
Both
talk about the
teams.
Liverpool game, Cody. We didn't talk about
Oh
it.
shit, my bad, dude. I totally thought we went through all
We
of
went
them.
right
My
over it.
bad. My bad. My bad. Yeah, let's go. Let's go through it. Let's talk about it. I was really impressed. Fucking Crystal Palace. They were giving them fits for the first like 15 minutes, but after the 15 minutes, man, it was
Yeah,
all Liverpool all the time.
it was one of those games where you were on the edge of your seat the entire second half because I feel like, Liverpool did business like we tend to do recently, like early. We score one early to put ourselves up, and then it's all about finding that second. Sometimes we get the third, but it's all about trying to find that second. And it felt like we had all of our opportunities in the first, and then by the time the second came around, we couldn't really sniff the goal as much, and it was kind of frustrating to watch the game like that because you want to just see the consistency throughout. But I don't know. I feel like overall, it's you know you don't get points based off of halves of football. You get based off of the game that you played. So I'm happy that we got out with a
Yeah,
three, ended the week top of the table. Um, it's just one of those, we really hope that we can be better and get that second one later in the season because you're not going to be able to just hang one goal against every team that you play and hope that you can hang on. It's not
yeah.
going to work like that.
No, I agree. And I mean, no matter what being said, like you guys should be scoring more than one goal against an opponent like Crystal Palace. But Palace played a very good game, in my opinion. They were super physical. I mean, they had 1, 2, 3, 4 red cards within 10 minutes in the second half. I think they were just kind of getting frustrated and they were getting beat, and they knew that, they had to, a lot of the fouls were, there's 3 people back or 1 person back and 3 Liverpool players coming forward. So it was an automatic card. But I thought, for the most part, they did it. They did what they had to do. It's hard to beat a team as good as Liverpool, no matter who they're starting. Because I mean, you guys didn't even started Cody Gakpo as his first start of the season, wasn't it? Giving Luis Diaz a little break.
I'm not going to say that with confidence, but I mean, he hasn't had tons of opportunities just because Diaz has been so hot.
He's been lights out. Jota's
But
been
yeah,
hot, and you're not taking Mo off. You're not starting Mo. That's just simply not happening. So
the biggest story to come out of this game though is Allison getting hurt.
I was just about to bring that up. I'm so glad you said
Yeah,
that.
it's
Have you heard anything about it?
yes, it's hamstring. They
Brothers got hamstrings
are.
made out of fucking twigs. I swear to God, every
It's
single
not
season.
ideal, but I think this is part of the reason why we went and spent the money on bringing Mahamashvili over. Like next season, was the thought process is, we have Allison. Quayheem's probably going to look for an opportunity to play somewhere else. We'll play this year out with Allison and Quayheem. Let Quayheem leave and find a new home. We bring in Mahamashvili, and then it's really between Allison and Mahamashvili. If Allison can stay healthy, we're obviously going to start him. and then you play out Allison until his contract ends, and then you move on. But I've heard it's hamstring. They believe from some of the stuff that I heard was that it's possibly until the November international break. So quite a bit of time in between.
I mean, that's not too bad. You got what? That's 3-4 games. I don't know when the November international break is.
Exactly
I fucking hate international football, dude.
I can tell you for a fact that I'm never really too worried about it because I really do trust Kelleher. I think that kid can do a job when we need him to. So, I believe that international break is after the 9th, I think, is the last game. So it would be Villa. He would miss Chelsea, Arsenal, Brighton, and Villa.
It's not
that would
an ideal group of games.
Leverkusen and Leipzig in Champions League 2. And then we'd come back, and he could be back by the 24th. It'd be basically the same. I believe that's Thanksgiving weekend.
Well, I didn't even realize this. I totally thought he came on. I was watching the game and still didn't even notice. Why wasn't Kelleher on your bench? Who's this Jerryos guy?
Sick. He was sick.
What a great day to be sick.
Scratched right before the game. So unfortunate, but honestly, everyone has been dog shitting on Jaros probably since we signed him, that he was not good enough and that they just needed to stop paying for him. And who was the other guy that we had for a while? I can't think of the other goalie right now who is also dog shit. It's Adrian. Adrian was also fucking terrible. But the two of them were always viewed as if Allison or Quahim either leave or get hurt, we are screwed. And the kid came in, and honestly, I was impressed by what I saw. And that's why I'm like, maybe we just have great goalkeeping coaches. Maybe our defense is just stacked in front, so they're not getting the best shots off no matter what. But it seems like whoever we have in kind of steps up to the plate. So can't say that for every team in the league, but I think that I'm pretty confident to say that about our boys here.
It helps that Palace's offense on Saturday was just straight up anemic. But no, good 3 points, top of the table. 1 goal is all you need when you hold your opponent to a clean sheet. So love to see it.
Yeah, I was
All
definitely
right, now we can talk about the games on Sunday. Again, circling back, Aston Villa versus Manchester United. Both of these teams are in not good form. And I know that, I keep saying that I don't think Villa's good. They are finally proving me right over the past 2 weeks. But I didn't even watch this game
because they were better than Manchester United, I think, even though they didn't get the result. I mean,
but they didn't really, though. If you look at the stats, Villa had the majority of the possession with 54%. Villa had 0.5 xG. United had 0.56 xG. Villa had 11 total shots. United only had 10 total shots. Villa only had 1 shot on target to United's 4. They both had 0 big chances. Villa had 345 accurate passes to United's 302. 12 fouls for Villa, 11 for United. Villa had 3 more corners, but I mean, overall, it was a fucking stalemate. It looked like, at least. I don't. Like I said, I didn't watch this game. I didn't think it was going to be an entertaining game. I'm glad that I was proven right. Anytime, again, Emilio Martinez was the man of the match. Anytime a goalie's the man of the match, you didn't miss a whole lot.
It was a terrible game, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't. I got to watch some of the end of the match, but overall, it was a relatively boring one, I think, in my mind.
What I thought was interesting, and it's kind of something to do with this game, but also it's more so with Villa as a whole. Is do you see who just signed a contract extension for 7 years? I think it was 7.
For
Maybe it
Villa?
was 3. Yeah,
I don't think I did.
Jean Duran
Oh, the
signed a
lad.
contract extension. The lad who has been incredible this season, like impeccable. He's for 5 out of the 6 last games, came in and just scored an absolute banger, dude. That one he had in the
He
Champions
actually
League this weekend.
officially he got the goal of the month for September for the shot that he had like outside of the box in the substitute appearance that won the game. That was
Yeah, I
the
sent you.
goal of the
We
month for
talked about
September.
his game winner versus Bayern in the Champions League this week, didn't we?
Mm-hmm.
A fucking screamer, dude. It was disgusting.
Yeah, he's
But that's
starting to
just who
become
he is.
inevitable there.
I just thought it was so funny that I saw that he resigned or just signed an extension, and I was like, wasn't he the guy that like 4 days before the season thought he was getting traded to West Ham and was posting on Instagram with the fucking hammers and shit? And I mean, it was a rhetorical question. I know that he was, but I was like, interesting. I guess being in good form will do that for you, but it wasn't. I didn't really know what to think about that one.
Yeah, I think the big question was going to be, was Ten Hag going to survive the weekend? And it's Monday. He's still there, so I just feel like
Dude keeps claiming that he has the
there's
backing of upper management.
yeah,
But
because he has some sort of dirt on these guys. Like
he
it makes
has
no
to.
sense. It makes no
He
sense.
all and he
What
all.
blackmail? What pictures does he have of this dude touching kids that he has hidden in his phone? That
And he's
he's like,
Eric Ten Hag was at the Diddy parties, so he knows all the
yeah,
secrets.
dude. He
Eric
got
Ten
some of the
Hag,
baby oil with
bald, covered up in fucking baby oil, sliding around the floor.
dude. I have no clue what he has against these guys that he's
Oh
keeping his
shit!
job, but
I
he's got
don't
to stop
either.
soon. Honestly, for
I
our
I
good, keep him there, dude. Keep him there
I
forever.
think he's lying, bro. I literally think he's lying. I just don't understand what he could possibly, what good reason you have at this point to keep him around. But he's still around. I put it at minus 250 that he's gone by, the end of the winter. But shit, man. But the most annoying thing about Ten Hag, in my opinion, is every time somebody's like, "Hey, are you a competent coach?" Because you don't look like it. He's just like, "I've won so many trophies since I've been here." And I'm like, okay, you won with the Community Shield twice. Like, congratulations, dude.
Yeah, dude.
It's so funny. Like, I'm no skin in the game, but goodness me, that man is a riot. I swear.
Not a fan.
Man, you. What
Only
what
room
are we
for
gonna do
one
with you
bald
guys?
coach in the Prem. Sorry.
There's a lot of bald coaches in the Prem.
Yeah, I
Ten
know.
Hag
Bucks
shit.
on
Who are the
Deitch
bald
too.
coaches? Ten Hag shit.
Sean
Sean
Deitch.
Dyche shit. I don't know
Pep
if
Guardiola.
okay, yeah, well, yeah. He's not shit.
There's a lot of
Uh,
bald people, dude. Holy shit.
I
That's
can't think of any other outside of that. I don't. Granted, I don't. I mean, I don't know the managers of those like newly promoted teams, but fucking Brighton's manager is younger than some of the fucking players, so dude's definitely not bald.
Ipswich manager is definitely not bald.
Ange isn't bald. Unai Emery isn't bald.
Kieran McKenna, yeah, not bald, not bald there.
Is Masquerade or Masquerati, whatever the fuck his name is he bald? Chelsea's guy.
Maresca.
Maresca, yeah, that's who it is. Angel Maresca. Angela. He is bald. Verdict's still out on him
Angel.
being shit. I don't know if he should or not. Chelsea have looked pretty good. I mean, Drew against Forest, but Forest is a fucking sneaky good team, bro. Like, they're a sneaky good team. That is a squad. I mean,
Yeah. They
for
even, I mean, it was a late card, but they still even had a red and still held them
I
off
mean,
the entire time.
yeah, that's a solid, They had 13 extra minute or added time, or 30 minutes of added time. I'm pretty sure it was some
It was
ridiculous
13,
number. Yeah. And so they held them off for not only did they hold them off. Actually, I'm stupid. Whoops. But yeah, held them off for 20, 25 minutes down a man. So I think that they are. Where are they sitting in the table right now? They're like top 10, aren't they?
Forest is 10 on the money.
Oh yeah, they're right below Spurs. Yeah, that's crazy. I did not see that coming. Shout out Nuno Espirito Santos.
I
Also
believe,
bald, by the way.
let me check here. They have, they're tied for the second best defense in the league, I believe. Yeah.
Because their defense is fucking insane.
Liverpool is 1 because we've allowed 2 goals, and then they're tied with Arsenal with 6. So, you're taking that. They're not scoring a bunch. They have 7. So, like, they're scoring around, where the relegation zone is. Like, Everton has 7 goals scored. But they just don't let in any goals. They're playing great defense. When you can do that, if you can stay above a positive goal difference, you can actually win your games. So.
And is Christopher Wood good? He's got 4 goals in this campaign. He scored in the last 3.
He's just big.
Last 4. Holy shit! He scored 4 in a row. I didn't realize he scored the one against Liverpool. Yeah, 1 goal against Liverpool. One.
No, he didn't score against Liverpool. It was Hudson-Odoi against Liverpool, right? Yeah, Hudson-Odoi against Liverpool.
Did he assist?
It was the last. He scored against Brighton, and then he scored against Chelsea. And he's also scored against Wolves this year.
Famons literally saying he scored in the 81st minute, but whatever. It's a fucking liar. But yeah, 3-3. He's looking formidable up there. I mean, Chelsea's there. If I were to give them any sort of weakness, it would probably be that back line. But Chelsea playing out of their minds right now. Props to Forest giving them the shit. Love seeing it.
Yeah, I think that the play of that entire game wasn't the goals that were even scored. It was that touch that Cole Palmer had on the opportunity in the game. I have never seen a turn like that to actually get that much space. I was amazed. Just depth and touch. And then he had the first shot, gets saved, has the second shot, even crazier save. I was like, all right, well, this goalie is completely standing on his head. That's Sells? Yeah, Sells is the goalie.
Yeah.
Sells played crazy at the end of that game to keep them out.
No, he played out of his mind. I don't remember how many shots Chelsea had. Chelsea had 22 shots and 8 shots on target. And yeah, you're stopping Cole Palmer after you just watched him literally do magic, dude. How do you fucking make that touch? How?
It was one of the craziest touches I've ever seen.
Yeah, I completely. Me too. I disagree with that being the play of the game, though. I think the play of the game was when the teams were on the sideline going at it, and then there's a video of Cole Palmer who just takes a step back onto the field and just sits down, and just stares at them while they're all pushing and shoving. Oh, Twitter had a fun time with that one. They were like, "Oh, he's got that autistic messy gene." Dude, you guys are too much. But no, it was a very entertaining game. Chelsea coming out with 2.46 XG, Forest with 0.87, and with draw 1-1. Being where we are and Spurs are on the table right now, I'm glad that Chelsea were able to drop points. I'm happy in the days Chelsea drops points, for being 100% honest. But
yeah, it is nice when that happens.
Always nice. I saw, okay, so Arsenal and Chelsea are Spurs' biggest rivals, right? And on Reddit, all the the new fans come on, and they always asking some silly questions. But somebody's like, "So, what is the bigger rivalry? Is it Arsenal or is it Chelsea?" And I heard a phrase that I had never heard before, and somebody responded to them, and we're just like, "We hate Arsenal because we're Spurs. We hate Chelsea because we're human." And I was like, that's a very elegant way to put it. Just I don't even know what to say. Everybody fucking hates them.
They make themselves hateable, though. It's not like we're hating
it
on them
was
for no reason. They make themselves hateable.
Yeah, they do. And I think their previous owner being just an absolute fucking shithead doesn't help much. What's his name? Albridge? I don't know. I'm gonna butcher it. I'm not even gonna try. No, he was some like Italian dude. What? I gotta look it up. I want to say West Brom Albion, but I know that's a football club and not actually.
West Bromwich Albion?
Yeah. West Sandwich Albion. What was his name? No, not managers. Oh, probably because I typed in managers. I don't know. I'm wasting so much time here, but I'm just avoiding talking about it.
Yeah, let's just dive into it because I know that's what you're doing.
Roman Abramovich, that's his name.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, dude's just a fucking terrible human being, apparently. I don't even remember what he did, but I remember it was bad. Pretty sure he's in jail now. All right, let's fucking talk about it. Spurs take the piss against Brighton. Classic Spursy performance. That's the best way I can put what happened on Sunday. We looked absolutely incredible. I remember a distinct moment where you and I were talking, and you were talking shit. You were saying, "I can't wait to come to Tottenham Hotspur Stadium and have Mo Salah score goals." And I'm like, dude, honestly, this is right after James Maddison scored. I was like, I'm honestly not afraid to play anybody right now. Then I ended up having to take off because I had to take my car to the body shop. And I'm glad that I did because I took off at halftime. And the second half was a disgrace, truthfully. Destiny had just the most boneheaded move to give up the goal to Minta. I don't know what he was thinking. I think by far and wide that was his worst performance that I have ever seen for Spurs. I don't even have words to say. It was terrible. I mean, even from the 20th second in, like I knew that we were kind of in for a long day. Timo Werner takes the ball down the left wing, and the dude can move the ball. Like he can. He's fast. He is good when there's nobody right up on him, just taking the ball up the wing and getting it up there. But once he gets into the attacking third, brother does not know what to do to save his life. Brendan Johnson streaking through wide open, nobody within 5 feet from him, 1-on-1 with the goalie, and Timo just misses the fucking pass, dude. I know why they didn't start Mikey Moore, but I don't want to see any more Timo Werner. I'd rather have Mikey Moore on there. I don't care if he played 90 minutes 3 days ago, but I mean, Kulu didn't have his best game. Our whole defensive line looked like children out there. Brendan Johnson, bright spot. I'm going to focus on him. 6-6. Dude is on fire. Maybe we should all delete our social media accounts so we can be more like Brendan Johnson. I turned my Twitter into a Brendan Johnson Stan account just because I love that kid. I was so happy when we signed him. He didn't do a whole lot for us last year. Obviously didn't do anything for a couple of games this season, but over the past 6 games, kid's been lights out, and I love to see it. Also, I think Solanke played a really good game. He had the assist, obviously, to Brendan for his goal. His link-up play again in the first half was incredible. Dude couldn't get the ball in the second half, so I don't blame him for that whatsoever. But the whole defense can fucking go get fucked for all I care. That was pitiful everywhere. Romero, I don't know what he's doing this season, but everybody, myself included, obviously, talking about how he's world-class, center back, one of the best in the world. I wish, I know I'm overreacting, but I wish that, we sold him to Real over the summer like they wanted, because dude has he's a captain and out there. I don't think he said a fucking word the entire game, bro. It was terrible. And he's watched him. He got called ball watching 3 times. Again, I don't have a whole lot of positives to say. I'm just going to focus on the bright spots after I just ranted for 5 minutes. But I love Johnson. I love Solanke. Glad that
Let me.
Yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
Let me buckle in for this here. Yeah, that was a melt. It was a melt.
I got so offended. Jacob sent me a meme that he probably found on Twitter of
no, I actually made it with ChatGPT AI, believe it or not.
Oh Lord.
Just for you, because I thought about it. I was like, this is a very Everton-esque meltdown. Yeah. And so I blended the images together to make the image of Tottenham turning into Everton, because that was kind of what it was.
That's exactly what it was.
No, it was what we talked about last week when we were talking about Tottenham, I think was the issue, and that's that it's inconsistent play. I mean, there's some moments where Tottenham looks like they could challenge for top 4, and maybe even challenge for the title with the way that they play sometimes. That first half, I was right with you of like, you know what? They're back. The boys are playing well. They're putting goals in. They're going to put away teams like this all day. Something happened in that second half, and I don't know what it was. If I had a guess, if you're looking at watching the game and the way that the ratings played out, Matoma ran loose on that side. And my guess,
that's exactly what happened.
Without really knowing too much about how Tottenham was setting up, my guess is that Porro got too aggressive moving up.
It was Destiny Udogie.
Udogie was on the other side, keep right?
Up. No.
Yeah, because Matoma plays lined up on the left, right?
Matoma, yeah, they both play left.
Well, no, Matoma's on the opposite side.
Destiny Udogie got burned by Matoma consistently all game.
I just feel like Matoma was really the changing point of that. There was some sort of shift in the way that Fabian Hertzler saw the Tottenham attack and setup from the first. After half, whatever he did was like a blueprint. So, if you're playing Tottenham in the next few weeks, maybe, come back and watch the second half game plan on what happened there, because I don't know, it's something that they have to figure out. But it was a shocking performance in the second half. I was, as someone who likes Tottenham relatively, I cheer for them for you, and I do like to see them win. That was not a performance I was really used to seeing from them in the second. I know you're kind of, that's kind of what they do. This is a common theme for how you view your team, but from someone who's not always pessimistic about them, I feel like it was kind of shocking to see it happen.
And I mean, truthfully, if I'm being 100% honest, all right, the internet is up in shambles about this game, and everybody just relax, okay? Like, yeah, it sucked. It was an embarrassing second half. Don't let that distract you from the fact that we just went 5-5 off the bounce. We played, we didn't play anybody that was insanely good. And yeah, that's going to be the retort to everything. Always. I got that all over all the time this weekend. But it was one bad half. I mean, like we said, we looked great the first half. Something obviously happened in the second half. We looked gassed and didn't make subs. That was that's a whole nother thing I want to talk about. But we've looked great for 5 weeks in a row. Borderline unbeatable in my opinion. And yeah, I know I'm biased, but I would even argue that against Arsenal, we were probably we looked the better team. They just were able to capitalize. And that was the same thing with Newcastle, the game before that, where we lost 2-1. We again looked the better side. We just couldn't capitalize and find the back of the net. And over those past 5 games, we were able to capitalize and find the back of the net. And even in this game, we were able to do it. I'm not going to sit there and freak out and demand Ange be fired like half of our fucking fan bases over one half. Like, yeah, it was a bad game. It was a bad half. He should have made subs earlier. It happens, bro. We can't win them all. Brighton are not a bad side. And I'd rather lose to Brighton than it be Arsenal or Chelsea or whatever. And I know that we already lost to Chelsea, but one thing that Ange said that did kind of worry me in his after interview, they were asking about subs and why he didn't make a sub, because brother didn't make a sub until he didn't make a sub until the 79th minute, after we had already given up 3 goals in fucking 20 minutes, which was insane. And they said, quote unquote, "Were you tempted to make subs earlier as the game was turning?" He said, "Yes, I could have, but all these things are totally irrelevant to me. Substitutions and those kind of things. If you're not competitive, it doesn't matter what you do. You're going to get rewards. You don't deserve to win. Or you're not going to get rewards. You don't deserve to win. We didn't deserve our second half performance. Introspective of subs and anything else, going to get something out of the game. But I think you do get something out of the game if you're falsely rewarded, and I don't want to get falsely rewarded." For starters, 1, what the fuck does that mean? And 2, we looked dead in the second half. The defense, I will post them on Twitter after this, because there are 3 separate clips where our defenders just got caught ball watching. That Danny Welbeck header, 4 of them in the box. Bentancur, Romero, Van de Ven, and I think it was Pedro, just all sitting there staring at him, staring at Matoma on the side, and he crosses the ball in for the goal. It was a pathetic defensive performance, and I do blame Ange for this one. Subs were needed. I get we played on Thursday or Wednesday or Thursday. I think we played on Thursday. But
the way
you
that
can't.
Ange sounded like there was literally like he's the Dabo Sweeney of the Premier League. Like,
Yeah,
we're gonna win the right way. We're gonna win with the boys that we put in there, and it's like, no, brother, you can make a change.
no,
You can bring some
like
guys
we
off
have
that are dead.
players on, and then when we did, he brought on Mikey Moore in the 85th minute. He only got 10 minutes of play, but the dude looked mustard. Like, the kid looked mustard. He looked great. Papsar, insane pair of legs. Again, I get he played 90 minutes the other day, but you can't put different people on the bench. Jed Spence did not see the game whatsoever. In why did Destiny Udogie play the entire game? He didn't deserve to play the entire game. He looked like shit, but here we are talking about it, bitching about it. So it's the most Spursy thing ever to concede 3 after scoring first 2 right before an international break and leave us with this sour taste in our mouths. So love it. I love being a fan of this club. Yesterday in general was just a pain day. Spurs blew a 2-goal lead. Browns look like shit, and the Dodgers lost 10-2 at home.
Yeah, that was not a great day for you. Not a great day.
No, I'm moving forward. Not looking forward to this international break, that's for sure.
Yeah, I was gonna say we have an international break coming up this week.
We'll start our parlay. We'll start our parlay segment next week. What do you think about that?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. We'll do parlay segment next week.
Perfect.
Try to talk about some stuff that's going on. We'll try to get you guys probably a quick episode out there for the ones that want to hear it, and
for the lads. But all right, let's get out of here.
All right, guys. Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening. We love you guys. Peace.